Hey guys, I'm Hugo. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be making one of my favorite desserts, sticky toffee pudding. So it's currently about 10 a.m. in the morning on a Sunday here, and this is when I do my filming every week. I woke up this morning and I had a completely different recipe scheduled, and I thought, looked outside, it was a bit too chilly, a bit too cold, and I decided I wanted to make some cake. So completely changed up the schedule, and today we're going to be making my favorite dessert of all time, sticky toffee pudding. This is a British classic alongside all the other weird and wonderful British desserts like spotted dick, jam roly-poly, all the weird ones. But this is just excellent. It's for those of you guys who haven't had it before, it's kind of this very sugary rich cake. It's amazing. It's hands down the best. So yeah, today we're going to be making a vegan version of it. It's super simple to make, and I will show you how easy it is to make right now. Let's get into the recipe. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we want to chop up some dates for the sticky toffee pudding. So here I have 225 grams of just plain dates. You can use the fancy Mijol, I don't know how to pronounce those dates. To be honest, you don't really need to. It's going to be cooked in the cake anyway, so just any dates from the supermarket will do just fine. And we're going to chop these pretty finely. So I'll just show you how finely we're going to chop them, and then I'll skip forward to after they're chopped, so you don't have to watch me chop a whole load of dates. But we want to really finely chop them into thin slices, just like this, and we can see how thin those are. So I'm going to chop up the rest of these, and then I'll show you what we're going to do with them. All right, so those are nicely chopped up, and so now we're just going to put these back into the small bowl, and we're going to pour over 180 ml of boiling water. So I've just boiled the kettle here, and we just want to pour this over the dates, and we're going to push them down into the water so they're all evenly covered by the water. And you just want to leave these dates to soak for about 30 or so minutes. And the reason why we're doing this is so that the dates get more moist and sticky, and so when we cook that, when we mix these into the cake batter, when it's cooked, it's going to add this really lovely moist datey texture, if that makes sense. Anyway, I've actually made one of these earlier, and you can see how big the dates kind of suck up the water and how large they get, and they get much softer. Anyway, while your dates are soaking, you can create the cake batter. So you want to grab a large mixing bowl, and we're going to whisk together a couple of ingredients. I need to grab a whisk. Okay, I got my whisk. Okay, so we've got 100 grams of margarine or vegan butter. I like to use Stork, the brand Stork, which you can buy in most British supermarkets, but you can use whatever margarine or vegan butter brand you want. And to that, we're going to add 150 grams of Demerara sugar, and then 2 tablespoons of black treacle. Okay, and this is adding the black treacle is a bit of a mission, to be honest, because it's very slow to pour, so bear with me while this goes in. Come on. Okay, so we're just going to whisk all of the butter, sugar and black treacle together until it's evenly combined. And you might have a bit of trouble whisking the treacle because it will stick all over the shop, but just keep on working it, and it should come off the whisk at some point, hopefully. All right, so that's nicely whisked together. You can see there the butter is evenly incorporated with the sugar and treacle. And I recommend obviously just taking out your butter or your margarine from the fridge before whisking it together, because if you have a cold if you have cold butter, it's very, very tricky to whisk all the stuff together. So to this, we're going to add a couple of more wet ingredients. So I've got 100 grams here of almond yogurt. You don't have to use almond yogurt. You can use whatever plant-based yogurt you want. Soy yogurt works fine. Oat yogurt works fine as well. Just whatever you prefer, really. And then I also have 100 ml of almond milk. Again, you can use whatever plant-based milk you want. Oat milk, soya, all works just fine. So just pour that in. And I have a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Okay, then we're just going to whisk this together again, just so it's evenly incorporated. What I want to show you is, don't worry if it starts to look split. Okay, that looks like it's split. It looks pretty disgusting, and you don't really want to eat that. It's going to come together when we add all the flour and the baking powder and all the dry ingredients, so do not worry about that. So let's just add in that right now. So we have 200 grams of self-raising flour, which I'm just going to add in, and then 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Just whisk this in to combine, and you'll start to see as we whisk it in that we just lose that split texture, and it becomes really, really nice and smooth. And so there you go, you've got this really, really smooth batter, and believe me, this tastes amazing. Like, I'm struggling not to eat this raw right now, but just trust me, it tastes excellent. So remember when we chopped those dates and soaked them in the beginning? We're now going to add the dates into the batter. I'm just going to drain off any excess water from these dates before I put it in, just because we don't want to make the batter too wet. Okay, so the dates going in. And then just give it a whisk just to combine the dates evenly throughout the batter. I've said combine evenly about 5 million times through this video so far, but you get the picture. And there you go, so dates all spread around the batter very evenly, and it's looking all good to go there. And now I have my baking tin here, which I've buttered and floured so that the batter does not stick to the sides. For reference, this is a 10 by 7 inch baking pan. All right, in this goes. And of course, the most important thing is that you leave a little bit left in the mixing bowl so that you can eat it raw while the cake is cooking. Okay, so just want to spread it out evenly in your tray, or your pan, sorry, and that's looking pretty good to go. So now we're going to place this in the oven at 200 degrees Celsius for around 30 minutes, and that's in a fan oven, so slightly longer if you have a traditional oven. So let's place that in the oven now. Okay, so whilst that's in the oven, we're going to make the toffee / treacle sauce that's going to go with the dessert. So for those of you who aren't aware already, all of the sugar that we just put into that cake wasn't enough. We're now going to make an extremely sugary sauce to go over the top of it. That's British cooking at its finest, basically. Okay, I'm going to switch this out. Okay, so now we're going to make our extremely sugary toffee sauce, which is going to taste excellent. So we're going to heat 50 grams of margarine vegan butter again with 175 grams of brown soft sugar. You can use any brown sugar you want, really. I like to use a light brown kind of muscovado sugar. And then we have a tablespoon of corn flour. And finally, our tablespoon of black molasses, which has got all over my fingers, thank God. Again, this is extremely annoying to portion out. All right. And then just heat this over a medium to low heat, and we're just going to whisk as we heat that to combine all the ingredients. So there you go. Like I don't know if you can see that, to be honest, but what you're looking for is the sugar completely melted into that butter with no granules there. And just be careful when you're heating it that you don't burn the sugar. You just kind of want to keep on moving that whisk around so that the sugar doesn't burn, because otherwise you're going to get too bitter a flavor. Now we have, God, I can't remember, I think it's 225 ml of oat milk that I'm going to place into this. And the reason here that I specify using oat milk is oat milk traditionally has a little bit, quite a higher fat content than all of the other plant milks. And so that's why I like to use it here. You can use other plant milks like almond and soya. I just find oat milk works better for the sauce. You want to whisk that oat milk in, and then we're going to heat the sauce over to a simmer and reduce it down until it's quite thick. Okay, so there we go. We've brought it to a nice simmer, and you probably want to just simmer it away for about 1 to 2 minutes until it starts to thicken up. Okay, so it's been about a minute or so, and I can see this is nicely thickening up. I don't want it to get too thick, so let me just show you what it looks like. So you'll know when it's done is if you just want to grab like a little teaspoon, put it in the sauce, and it should come out nicely coating the back of the spoon. And if you run your finger down the middle, it should keep a line down the middle of the spoon. So that's looking good. Tastes excellent as well. So let's just remove this off the heat and put it on the side until the cake is ready, and then we can heat it back up when needed. Okay. It's been 30 minutes or so, and this cake's been in the oven. It's looking pretty done. It's looking a little bit brown on the outside, but that's absolutely fine because we're going to pour a sauce over it. So let's just check that it's actually cooked in the middle. So we're going to put a knife in, and yeah, so it should come out just pretty clean like that. And you don't want any pieces sticking to the knife itself. Right, so now we're just going to pour over a thin layer of this glorious sugary sauce on top. You want to pour about maybe half the sauce on top of it. So let's whack it on and then just spread it out around the cake. Amazing. And so yeah, you just want to let that sit for about 5 minutes or so, just to let the sauce kind of permeate that top layer of cake. And taste amazing. And then you can just serve up and just spoon the rest of the sauce over any pieces you dish out. That's it, guys. Sticky toffee pudding complete. Wow, it looks pretty good. Okay guys, thank you very much for watching the full recipe. As I said at the start, this is one of my favorite cakes of all time. The full recipe for this specific cake is in the description as always. Check it out because you will not be disappointed. This is, I can't say it enough, it's great, it's excellent. It tastes so moist, so sugary, so basically all of the boxes that you're looking for on the perfect cake, it ticks. If you have any questions or comments, again, leave them in the comment section below and I will get back to you ASAP. It's now 11:10, so I think it's acceptable time to actually eat this now, which I'm probably going to do after this video. And I will see you next week for hopefully a little bit more healthier recipe. See you then.